Innumeracy and the New Atheism. Publishing a best-selling book, especially a best-selling non-fiction book, is no small feat. Publishing a best-selling pop math book is almost impossible. In the history of mathematics, I can think of only 2 or 3 such publications, and these are in no particular order. The first is Flatland, which is actually more of a political satire book than a work of popular mathematics. The second is Mathematics for the Millions, and the third and final one is John Paulus's Innumeracy. John Allen Paulus wrote Innumeracy, and that's pretty much it for top-selling math books. Well, as a mathematically minded theist, not atheist, but theist, I was very disappointed to discover that Paulus has recently jumped on the bandwagon of the so-called New Atheism. And taking a cue from his bestseller title, his newer book is called Irreligion. And this book, Irreligion, in it he talks about the proofs for God's existence, why they're unsound in his view. But the worst thing I think is that he claims that it's his proficiency for mathematics, his love of math and his knowledge of math that has led to his agnosticism. The point of the book is not to prove that God does not exist. Rather, its sole purpose is to examine arguments for God's existence and show them to be unsound. It was very refreshing, actually, that he explicitly says atheists believe there is no God and agnostics don't know if there is a God or not. This is what the words have always meant, of course, but most new atheists today have redefined these terms as an obfuscation game. Paulus gets at least this right in his book, the clear distinction between atheism and agnosticism. Although oddly enough, he does admit that you can be an agnostic atheist. Not quite sure where he's going with that one, but that's what the New Atheists say as well. They'll say that it's become quite in vogue these days to say that you're an agnostic atheist. Well, the book is divided into 3 sections, only the first dealing with the traditional arguments. The last 2 sections are criticizing relatively weak arguments that nobody really seems to be making these days, and nobody seems to have really made them in the past. And that is my first complaint with the book. It is largely a straw man effort. I expect more careful thinking and scholarship from a professional mathematician, being trained to be very careful and precise and so on in their use of language and that sort of thing. My second complaint is that Paulus's complaints with Christian apologetics are in large degree merely a rehashing of David Hume. And he openly admits this in the book. The problem is that philosophy of religion has moved on a great deal from Hume's criticisms and Hume's time. I'm not sure exactly when he lived. I believe it was in the 1700s, but it might have been the 1800s. But it's certainly been a while since then, and there has been some development. And not everything that Hume said was right on the money when it comes to natural theology as well. David Hume, certainly didn't have the last word on the subject. I thought people in the know knew that Humean criticisms of philosophy of religion is now seen as passé. At least somebody writing as an authority on the subject, like Paulus and Irreligion, should at least mention that fact in a footnote, which he doesn't. My third complaint, also admitted by the author, John Paulos, is that the book does not go into any kind of depth. There are only about 150 pages in the book. The pages are small and the print is large. And as I've already indicated, the last two-thirds of the book are more or less irrelevant. So there is not much space at all given to the serious arguments in the first third of the book. At any rate, Paulos at least tries to address these arguments and to use logic. As a mathematician, he certainly knows um, uh, what it is to have a logical, valid, and sound argument. So he does try to address that, try to show logical flaws in these arguments, which puts him ahead of the pack compared to other new atheists that I have read. Alrighty, so in the first of the three sections, he talks about the cosmological argument first, then the teleological argument, and finally the ontological argument. There's a couple of vignettes in there as well. So we will look in subsequent videos at what he has to say about the three biggie arguments of classical apologetics. So up next, the cosmological argument, why he says it fails, and why his refutation of it is itself a failure. Alright, so stay tuned for that, and have a great day. You may notice a different webcam. I was having some computer troubles, so I went out and bought a new computer. It has a built-in webcam, which seems to be better than the external webcam that I bought for my last, well, 2 computers ago. I'm having a lot of computer troubles lately. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so new computer. I should be able to be a little bit more active now that I have my computer up and running. My new computer now. I have been holding off a bit on videos lately because I didn't have a computer that works. Alright, so again, have a great day, and shalom out.